Hey, this is LaGuardia Acting Studio, and today we are going to be talking about what it means to have thick skin as an actor. Now, there's an old adage that says if you want to be in this business, you're really going to need thick skin. And I'm not sure people really understand what that means, like you do and you don't. For example, I had a beginner's class, and I had someone in the Acting 101 class, and they had said, I have thick skin, I'm ready. But he'd never been an actor before, never gone through this industry before. So it didn't really apply. See, you can live a tough life. Like, look, I spent my whole life born and raised in the Bronx, New York. So I've seen people who grow up with rough lives. And in life, they may have thick skin, okay? But that doesn't mean you do for this industry, all right? The best way I can compare this is to a guitar player or like a bass player or when you play any stringed instrument. At first, when you're learning, you have to hold down the strings. And in order for it not to sound like garbage, you have to hold down the strings very firmly, okay? But the more you do that, the more they blister and the more they hurt because, the tips of your fingers are very sensitive. Okay, they're very sensitive. So when you apply a lot of pressure to something that's sensitive, it hurts. It's a problem. And people bleed and people get their blisters to pop, and it's a problem. But there's only one way to move forward. It is to continue doing it until the skin on your fingers kind of calluses. Therefore, you can push down really hard and you don't feel it as much. The pain isn't there. The sensitivity, the pain of the attacking the sensitivity is gone. Does that make sense? Okay. So, in this industry, you are going to face an enormous amount of rejection. Okay, and why I bring up sensitivity is because when we work hard at something, when we want something, all right, and let's just keep it to acting. You want to be an actor, you want to be an actress, so you take classes and you work really hard at the classes, and then you got to spend money because classes cost money. I mean, mine are pretty cheap compared to others, but you have to spend money and you have to have transportation to get places, and then you are constantly spending money on headshots and getting your reel done. So it takes a lot, and you're putting yourself out there, and ideally you're working very hard at it, because if you think talent is enough in this business, you've never been in this business. So you're busting your ass, you're working really hard, and now you're out there and you're auditioning and you're trying. And then you start to see what the rejection is like. Okay? Rejection from agents, rejection from managers, people who won't even meet with you. Okay? That's the first line of defense of rejection. Then you start auditioning on your own and you try to get things through Actors Access or what have you, and you go out and you're putting yourself out there, okay? And you're going on all these auditions and you're not hearing back from them. Now, there's a million reasons why you might not have gotten an audition, you might not have booked it, but you don't often think about that. You just think, I wasn't good enough. Okay, even when you're defensive and you're like, these people don't know what the hell they're talking about, man, they should have taken me. Something in your subconscious says you weren't good enough. That's why you didn't get the part, even though that's not true. You think that. Now, that has an effect. When you're in boxing or mixed martial arts, every time you're in a fight, and especially like a war, it takes something away from you. That's why legends in their 30s can be done, because all those fights, you lose something each fight. Well, every time you audition and you don't get it, even though it can make you stronger, it hurts and it makes you doubt yourself. Okay? So, whether it's auditions on your own or through agents, let's say you have an agent or a manager and you're going out on regular auditions and you're not booking them. Now, to the agent or the manager, that's a problem because you're not bringing money in. All right. And it's a problem for you because, yeah, you could use the money. Yeah, you want to book the job. Yeah, you want to build your resume and your reel and so on and so forth. But I'm talking about the psychological effects here. You go into the room, you know you're the right type for the role, you do a kick ass audition. The casting director seems to love you. You have a surge of confidence leaving that room. Oh my God, I nailed it. I am so going to get this. Or sometimes the casting director will say, are you available on this date? They're just checking, but that makes you feel good about what you did. And you leave and you go home feeling great, waiting for that call that says you got the call back, you booked the job, it's down between you and someone else. And every day that you wait for that you don't get that call, it does something to you psychologically. Okay? And by the third or fourth day, now you're doubting it. Now you're doubting it. But my students say, how long does it take to hear back from an audition? I tell them, could be a day, could be a week, could be a month. So you're holding out hope. You're holding out hope. And a week goes by and you're holding out hope. And slowly that hope starts to drain. And something in you starts to drain. Okay? Luckily, this is a business where there's always going to be more auditions. So you want another audition. And one of two things will happen. You will not do as well because now your confidence starts to be shattered. Okay? And that sucks. Or you do well again. And you're like, this time I got it. And again, you don't hear back. Now, there are many ways and reasons you don't book an audition. But you do not think that way. You think, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I good enough? Then you start to assess everything. How hard this business is. How parents and friends and family told you you're wasting your time. How I've spent all this money and there's no accomplishment. How I've been doing this for a year and I haven't heard anything, or 2 years. Although my students are like, Josh, it's been 3 months and I haven't booked anything, which is insane. But you get to that point where now you start doubting and now you're just, maybe I should quit. Maybe I should quit. And many do quit. Or many are like, I can't afford to be an actor anymore. I'm working, 3 nighttime jobs so I can have time to audition. I'm not booking anything. Okay, I get it. I get it. But when you don't quit and you get knocked down, because these are knockdowns. Every time you don't book something, you get knocked down. Every time you go in the audition and you suck, whether it's your nerves or it's the reader who threw you, which is not an excuse, or whatever, it takes something. It takes something. It's a little knockdown, okay? And too many of those make people quit. But when you don't quit, when you persevere, when you stay with it, and you deal with those rejections, not to say, I don't care, on to the next one, because that's almost impossible. Of course they hurt. Of course you doubt yourself. Of course it sucks when you think you got a job and you didn't. But when you keep getting back up, okay, that is the callus building over the sensitivity. All right? That builds thick skin. All right? So eventually, it's not that the auditions don't still hurt when you don't get it or they don't still suck, but it doesn't affect you the same way because it is impossible to pursue a business in acting, to make this your career, to live this dream without being dragged through the concrete. And if you don't have thick skin, you are going to be cut to shreds. But when you do, you can toughen it up and you can stay in that fight. Okay? And if you're doing acting as a hobby or on the side or you just want to dabble in it, this doesn't really apply to you. Just go have fun with it. You get it, you get it, you don't. But if this is what you want to do for your career, if this is how you want to make money, if this is your passion, if this is your love, people used to say to me, why do you want to act? And I used to say, because there's nothing else that will make me happy. If this is what you want, understand that the rejection, the pain, the times when you don't know what the hell you're doing, the days when you go to class and you suck, the days when you audition and the nerves get you, it is all part of the process of building the thick skin. It is giving you what you need to be successful. Okay? So, the poison is the cure. The things that are hurting you, the things that are shattering your ego or your ambition or making you feel less about yourself or making you doubt yourself, those are the things that are actually going to help you if you can stick with it.